Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be going over a few ways you can use to extend your mobile battery life. I made a video a few weeks ago and my phone died in about 4 hours, so it really was not that long. So let's just jump right into it. To start off here, there is a new FPS limiter function in the actual client, and this is one of the only things I'm actually going to change in the client. So there's a couple ways you can limit it. You can limit it to 30 FPS, you can limit it to 20 FPS. It's a noticeable difference. I'm pretty sure my phone was running at 60 FPS or maybe even more. I don't know. It was very smooth and now it's crap again. And if you are really crazy, you can put it onto 15 FPS. Now I personally would probably only run this if I was doing something like Nightmare Zone and I just really am not paying attention to it. Just chuck on the 15 FPS limiter. If I'm doing something more high intensity, like I don't know, Blast Furnace or some PVM, I'd probably keep it on 30 FPS. And if you're doing something kind of AFK, maybe 20 FPS. We're going to test it out in this video to see how much of a difference. We're going to run it on just the 30 FPS and see if it actually makes a noticeable difference for my battery life. So in the background, I'm just going to be running a bit of footage while I'm taking my bus ride. I started at about 100% and did all of this before the bus ride. Keep in mind, last time I did about 4 hours of straight playing. I could probably get it on my phone, and maybe 5 or 6 hours of on and off playing. So to start off here, a very obvious one, but something that some people don't realize is your brightness level is one of the main factors that's going to drain your phone quicker. Obviously you still need to be able to see, but for me, I'm on a bus, I could probably have this on the lowest setting if I wanted and still be able to see the game, especially if you're AFKing something. Having a high brightness is going to drain your phone much quicker than pretty much any of these other changes. I think I'm on the second newest version of Android. They have kind of dumb names, so it's kind of hard to remember. But the next thing I'd recommend doing is, you'll probably have something similar, but under device management, there's actually a way to optimize it. So this is going to close any apps in the background, any kind of rogue power drain. It sometimes will fix that, frees up storage space, and just general stuff like that. Usually I'll just run this once before I start playing just to make sure everything's closed. And on top of that, just make sure you have any extra apps in the background closed. Now a lot of this is kind of common sense, but at the same time, a lot of people don't realize it. So we're going to close some stupid stack jump game in the background. Now on most of the newer Androids, there's actually a specific setting for battery saving. Now there's two different ways you can do it. You can put it on medium battery saver mode and on maximum. Unfortunately, on maximum battery saver mode, it does not let you run RuneScape or most apps. It's pretty much just a glorified clock at that point. Now maybe if you rooted your phone, you might be able to switch around these settings more, but for me, you kind of just have to switch from two preset settings. So I'll always keep it on the mid power saver mode. Now there's also an option to put these apps to sleep. If you still want them open, they'll use almost next to nothing. Okay, so we're going to chuck it on the mid battery saver mode. Now it only seems to extend my battery life by 3 hours and 11 minutes, which is pretty good, but that's not going to actually correlate to when you're playing RuneScape because it's going to drain it like 5 times faster. I've noticed that if I put on the battery saver life, it seems to extend my gameplay about 10 to 15%, so it's definitely worth doing. It does limit your performance a bit, but if you have a newer phone, that shouldn't be that big an issue. And finally, you should be turning off the network that you are not using. I mean by that is if you're on data, you should be turning off your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or any other things that are going to be searching for networks. On the other end of it, if you are at home on Wi-Fi, you should be turning off your data. You should do that anyway, because sometimes your data will drain ridiculously quickly if your internet is not connected properly. Okay guys, so my phone's getting pretty close to dying. I'm probably going to plug in my portable battery charger, but I started playing at about 8:15. So I was able to play about 4 hours straight, plus I have about 25% battery life left. So I'd say this probably increased my actual battery usage time by about 15 to 20%, which is definitely noticeable, and I didn't really take any impact on my gameplay. Obviously I capped my FPS to 30, but you should be able to handle that. So obviously this is going to depend quite a bit on the phone you have. I have a Samsung Galaxy S7. Obviously battery life is very dependent on how big your battery is. I have a pretty average sized battery. It's like 3,500 to 4,000. So obviously the actual amount of time your phone will run for is going to depend a lot on that. However, if you do put on these settings on your phone and in the client, you should be able to extend your battery life by probably between 10 to 20%. There's so much about the battery drain that makes no sense. Sometimes you'll just have a rogue app still open somehow in the background and your phone just dies, or you'll fall asleep and your camera app somehow doesn't close and then your phone almost explodes when you wake up and it's at like 1%. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.